Kalo n janati tava jananam Kalo n janati tava samapanam Drushto maya tava mahakaraha Yogeshwara kala kala Yogeshwara kala kala Namaskaram to everyone. Guru Purnima. As by now all of you know that this is the first full moon post-summer solstice. It's significant because this is referred to as the sadhana pada in the yogic culture. When sadhana bears best results, making use of planet's relationship with the sun, the shift to the southern run, these 6 months, which is known as Dakshinayana, Adiyogi, Shiva himself, turned south on this day to acknowledge how significant is the role of sun in our lives. Everything that we know as life, from a microscopic organism to ants, insects, birds, animals, plant life and human beings, and the very planet itself. The essential energy is sun. It's on solar energy. We're all solar powered. The very warmth in our body is because of the sun. Having recognized this, to master one's destiny is always an aspiration in every human being, even in other creatures. They would like to take charge of their life. Well, they don't have the faculties and the means to do it, but a human being has come with the necessary faculties and understanding and awareness to take one's own destiny into their hands. In taking destiny into your hands, which essentially means you go where you want to go, that means you fix the destination. If you want to fix the destination from wherever you are to faraway place, first thing is your vehicle should be gassed up, there must be enough fuel. There are many other aspects, but the most important thing is you have the necessary fuel. Just look at it in your life. This morning you woke up, if you're bursting with energy, you have many aspirations. Oh, little something, just a flu, oh, I'm not supposed to talk about it, it's the virus times, all flus, and every other ailment that human beings have been suffering with are all gone, or at least in nobody's focus. There's only virus. But even if you had a little temperature, a headache, or for some reason your energies are a little low, this day obviously you're not thinking of doing great things. Because the most fundamental thing, to even have the thought process To even have an aspiration, even to nurture an aspiration, first thing is you must be gassed up. There's no gas in your tank you're not planning to go anywhere. You are the kind who'll enjoy the parking lot. So the first and foremost thing is to create substantial bursting energy in the system. In this context, a yogi following the sun cycles is a very important part of yoga, because unless you have a bursting sense of energy within you, you will not plan a long journey. You will not chart the course of your destiny. It's all right, somehow if you survive. For most people, if they don't get into trouble, they think life is good enough. If you live in a parking lot in your car, generally you don't get into an accident. I'm telling you this, safe ways of living. Generally you don't get into an accident, it's pretty safe. Well, you may get robbed, that's always there, but at least you don't smash up your car. That can only happen if you drive, that can only happen if you're driving a lot. That is, you're making a long-distance journey. So does long-distance journey necessarily mean a disaster? No. Long-distance journey means you have an aspiration to craft your own destiny. Crafting your own destiny, though there are various aspects to it, the most fundamental thing is energy. There is substantial energy in the system. To take up anything in the world, also external work, first and foremost thing is you woke up like a burst of energy, otherwise you don't want to take up anything. And as your energies recede, you will become terribly self-centered. You have noticed this with yourself. On a certain day when you're bursting with energy, you can think of everybody's well-being. Another day when you're low, you are not interested whether others live or die. The only thing that concerns is this one. So, lack of energy or paucity of energy naturally breeds a horrible sense of self-centeredness. There's a whole world today talking about me, myself and mine all the time. Simply because when they wake up in the morning, they're not bursting out. Why they're not bursting out? Many reasons. One thing is, it's become fashionable to stay awake late into the night. Many of them have become nocturnal creatures. Another thing is, there is a excessive flow of alcohol and other intoxicants flowing around. Once you touch these things, your energies when you wake up in the morning are very low. Once they're low, you are me, myself and mine, that's all. You cannot think of anybody's well-being, you will become more and more self-centered because your energies are low. This is the economics of energy. You don't have the energy to attend to everybody. If you just take care of this one, this is a primary life in your experience. If I just take care of this one, this is good enough. So then, this terrible man, the guru comes. You don't want to wake up in the morning, he gets you up 5 o'clock in the morning and makes you do all the unpleasant things, twisting, turning, bending, bone bending. You were so nice before this, you were sleeping till 9 a.m. Now 4:30 a.m., some of you gone crazy, 3:30, 3 o'clock, happening in the ashram at least. In the yoga center, at least people are getting many of them at 3 o'clock because they want to catch the Brahma Muhurtam at 3:40 a.m. They want to catch the first rays of sun before it hits a blade of grass. This is important For a yogi, this is very important. The first rays of sun should fall on me. Not on a blade of grass, not on a worm, not on an insect, it has to fall on me. This is very important for a yogi because he understands the value of knowing that we are essentially solar powered. How well we integrate this energy will determine how energetically we live. How much energy we have to spare will decide how magnanimous we are with our life. Because if you have no energy to spare, you can only think of this one life. Keeping this going itself is a great struggle for a whole lot of people. One thing is, when you become MMM, I think MM is something that you like, many of you are still babies. But I'm talking about MMM, me, myself and mine people. Once you become like this, you will see your mind will be unnecessarily churning up things. There is scientific evidence to show an overactive mind consumes over 20% of the energy generated in the system. This big body consumes 80%. Just 2 pounds of brain consumes 20% of the energy. In volume, it is disproportionate. This is simply because people's minds are simply running. The more you become triple M, the more it consumes energy endlessly. Now, of course, you have the assistance of the online madness, anything well, that keeps you going because you're not imbibing life. You're mistaking words and information as life. Today, everybody, I'm just seeing this around, like just about everybody, particularly when it comes to, of course, political things, there is a certain set of people talking like they're geopolitic experts. There are a certain set of people, a whole large segment of people talking like they are doctors. I'm just surprised people around me talking all medical terms. I say, are you doctor? No, I saw on the internet. Well, the stupid doctors took 9 to 11 years to become doctors. You in 10 minutes, I only hope nobody comes under your knife because this kind of doctors are a disaster. Unfortunately, you are coming under it all the time and it will be a disaster for sure. Or should I not be informed about your health or about your illness? Internet can only inform you about your illness. Health is generated here. You need to look inward to know how to generate health. If you want to become an expert on all kinds of illnesses, well, you can go and inform yourself. Without knowing the fundamentals of how this works, you know so much about everything. If you know much about health, you will be healthy. If you not know much about illnesses, you will have that. And this is unfortunately the way of life. So, being solar powered, we want to absorb, organize and store as much energy as possible. So sadhana is there. The various tools, the various kriyas that you're performing, on one level, they're essentially about increasing or enhancing your battery capacity. That means you can go for charging less and less. Well, there are different types of phones. There are phones which are always doing ping, ping, ping for everything that's going by. Those phones need charging 3 times a day. There are some phones which are set in such a way that it will only do what you want it to do. That will go for charging once a day. There are other phones which are usually referred to as dumb phones, which only takes your calls and messages, That you can even do charging once in 2 or 3 days. As you see, those of you who are doing sadhana, if you're doing, not just on the Guru Purnima day, I'm saying if you're doing every day, if you happen to be doing every day, slowly you're noticing the volume of food that you need to eat is coming down. That means you're going for charging less. Less charging means less stuff to process, less sleeping means more life to live, many things. Basically, your downtime is going down, maintenance time is going down. This is very important because only if you are charged to a certain level, all the other things will happen. Then the Guru comes. There are many ways to look at him. There are many ways to make use of him. Because you're in 20th century, let me speak your language. Because it is always about how to make use of everything. This is our idea of science. Our idea of science is how to use everything in the universe for our benefit. Well, we have even learned to use an invisible atom. We can break it, we can fuse it, we can make a bomb out of it, but we still do not know how to handle a virus. So, this is not to just mock science, it is the way we are approaching science. Because we are looking at science as utilitarian. We are not looking at science as an enhancement of our knowing. We are looking at how to use it, how to use it. Whatever you see, you want to use. We even have learned how to use an atom, microbial organisms, everything. Once you start looking at how to use life, then all that happens is you will get worn out. So, the Guru is a tool. You have to learn how to use him. Hello, you heard me? How to use him, because if he is no use, what good is he? What good is a guru or a god or anything if he is of no use to you? So how to use him is important, 21st century. So there are many ways you can use him. One is you can use him as an inspiration. These days, so many people have started coming up to me when I'm traveling, telling me, Sadhguru, I'm your greatest fan. Oh, I say, yesterday I think I met the greatest one, you must be the second greatest. No, Sadhguru, I am your greatest fan. All right. I always thought fan should be hanging from a ceiling, but you're coming up to me, it's all right. So, because these people are using me as an inspiration. Daily they will watch one 5-minute, 10-minute video on the YouTube and they get inspired in the morning and down by the evening. They'll read one quote and they'll get inspired for 10 minutes and go down on the 11th minute. So every day you need inspiration means what? Every day you're up and down and up and down and up and down. Once you're inspired, inspiration also means your lungs are full, or a balloon is full. Once it's full, it must fly. But no, daily inspiration means what? You got too many leaks. Every day you get inspired, every day you go down, and again tomorrow morning you'll get inspired. So some people use the Guru as an inspiration. They're also looking for, something you must say or something you must do that they cannot do or they cannot think of. Then they get inspired in the morning, by evening, down. The next set of people, this is particularly in southern India, in certain organizations and things, it's become a very common way of referring to people that matter to them in some sense. Many times I get introduced like this. Somebody says, "He's my friend, philosopher and guide." My eyeballs pop out. When did I become your friend? When did I teach you any philosophy? And when did I guide you? But they think that is a great thing. See, if you find a friend, what kind of friend will you find? You will always look for a friend who agrees with you, who supports your ignorance in every possible way. That's always your friend. If you're a smoker, you need a smoking friend. If you're a drinker, you need a drinking friend. If you're a meditator, you need a meditating friend. Somebody who supports your nonsense is your friend. If he every day pulls down your nonsense, finished, your friendship is over with him. So me, a friend, is a bad friend because this is my full-time job. Pull down your nonsense, pull down your nonsense, pull down your nonsense. Initially when you're willing, after some time even when you're not willing. Philosopher? Definitely not. Because what a guru does is not a teaching, is not a philosophy, is not an ideology, it is not even an advice. It is a certain transmission. Do you have the antenna or not? So we taught you sadhana so that slowly you will grow antenna to perceive. If you don't have perception, you're listening to the words and making your own philosophies out of it. I want you to clearly know they are your philosophies because I don't have any. So definitely not your philosopher. A guide, well, there are a certain set of people, whenever they want to take major decisions in their life, they come and Sadhguru, they've already consulted their lawyer, their accountant and their everybody. One final consultation they want, because after all, anyway it's free consultation with Sadhguru. So they want to consult Sadhguru, can you guide me? Anyway, if I make the mistake of telling them, okay, do this, at least 90% of the people will go and do part of it, and part of it as their lawyer told, as their accountant told and somebody else told them. So guidance I usually don't give. If they come to me with a confusion, I will confuse them further and send them, because a misguided person should not ever think he's guided. It's very important. Small things, yes, but with life, there is no guidance, I want you to understand. This is self-guided. This doesn't need guidance, this needs enhancement. If it is guided, it will go here or there. It will not go to its ultimate destiny. So, friend, philosopher, guide, when they introduce me like this, I squirm because this is in a public place. Today is Guru Purnima, I can say whatever I want to say, this is my day. Because these days, it is so happening, which I'm going to change in the next couple of years, so I think maybe the virus will make me change it little faster. Last few years, particularly in the last 7, 8 years, I'm being analyzed like I'm some kind of a political leader or a public figure. Everything that I say is being looked at from the context of what's happening today in the country or in the world. Oh, he said this, maybe this is what he's making commentary on the Prime Minister or the President of this country or that country. No, I'm not interested in commenting on today's events unless it directly comes to me. This is very important, that you do not understand or you do not misunderstand everything that is done in the context of current reality. Those things, so situations will go. As you see, what was yesterday's big headline, in your newspaper. After 3 days, it means nothing. Every other day, it's going away. So I am not talking about those things. Sometimes we may use it as an analogy, but we are not talking about that stuff. But because of the social media and other things, we are being constantly looked at like we are some kind of… every statement profound statements which are made are being looked at by… what do you call them? These people who are on Twitter and stuff. Unfortunately, a certain number of people or a certain percentage of people on Twitter think just because they're bird-brained, they have the right to tweet. No, you also need to have some wings. If you have a bird brain, you must compensate with wings to fly. If you don't have wings and just have a bird brain, you should not be tweeting. But they are tweeting all the time endlessly about everything in the universe. It's okay. This is a newfound freedom that they have because the way their minds are functioning, if they speak, not two people in their family will listen to them. So the only thing that they can do is put out their trash out there in the social media. Well, Sadhguru, you're hitting out… I'm not hitting out at anybody. Today is not a hitting day. I'm just telling you, this is the reality. And if you… I'm talking about me being a tool. If you want to use me as an effective tool. So, inspiration, okay, but if you are going to remain inspired, every day you need inspiration, this is simply because there is not enough energy in you to sustain you. Friend, philosopher, guide, that's not the way at all. The next possible way, which is a meaningful way to use a guru is, you use him as a doorway. You want to go through him. If you want to walk through a doorway, you must be little smaller than the doorway, otherwise you won't fit. This is the nature of the doorway. This is not my my demand on you, but you need to be a little smaller than the doorway. Otherwise, getting stuck in the doorway is not a great thing. This is happening to some people, that they get stuck in the doorway and they think… they're complaining, why can't they make the door little bigger? Well, if I make the doorway little bigger, you may puff up little more. Right now, obesity is a huge problem on the planet. They're telling me 30% of the world's population is obese. So, there is always a possibility that if we increase the size of the doorway, you will become bigger and still you won't fit. So you need to shrink a little bit. Your sense of who I am has to come down. I've probably told you this in the past a few times, but let me tell you again. When I was a child, I was fascinated by all these animals in the zoo. It caught my attention in such a big way. Almost whenever possible, if not every weekend, at least 1 or 2 weekends in a month, I'm at the Mysore Zoo. A whole variety of animals. And I went and spent the whole day. And I made friends there. Some of them started responding to me because I went with what they like. So generally, because I'm going out to the zoo, I'm talking about when I'm 8, 9 years of age. My mother gives me 2 rupees. 2 rupees is a luxury those days. So these 2 rupees, and she's also packed something for me to eat, so that's good enough for me. These 2 rupees I go and buy 3-4 kilograms of rotten fish. If you go deep into the fish market, you will get yesterday's fish, which smells. Not fully gone, it's still good. Only its innards, its intestines and others going bad, most people won't eat it. Sometimes if you go to a nice restaurant, they may serve you that. Because I've seen some restaurant owners coming and buying the same fish that I bought for my pets in the zoo. So I went this bag of fish, I spent my 2 rupees here and just kept 10 paisa for return bus ride. So when you go to the zoo, they had put up a gate where if you want to go walking straight, you need to buy a ticket. Otherwise, little less than 3 feet, they had put up one bar. If you're willing to crawl and go, it's free. What's my problem? I crawled and went every time. Saved the entry fee for the zoo, but I had so many fish and I went and fed all these seals and various other animals and birds which love fish. And whenever I come, some of them started recognizing me. Even if I come after a month, the moment they see me, they will make very happy noises because I'm feeding them this fish. So, one who is willing to bend down and go, even a small doorway is good enough. One who wants to go puffed up, even 100-foot doorway is not good enough for him because he will puff up more. See, people… I was with certain people at one time, they were around me for a few months. And this lady was crying bitterly one day, and her husband desperately trying to console her and all that stuff. Then I saw and then I asked, what's the matter? No, she's missing some things. I said, what is she missing? You are here, she is here. Sun has come up. What's there to miss? It seems she was working in a corporate house for about 3 or 4 years, where in this particular corporate house, because she held some finance position there, always somebody opened her car door and closed it for her, every door was opened for her. Now she's lost that job and nobody opening doors for her, so she's taking it out on the husband, that he has to open doors. This is after more than 2 years after having lost the job, she's still missing that nobody opens the doors. Then I said, ask her to commit some crime and go to the prison. They always open doors for you and they close it for you. No, Sadhguru, she's very delicate on these things. No. I said, bring her here, let me… Then I think in another 6 months she got cured of it, opening doors and closing doors business. So I'm saying if you're so puffed up, you can't go through any doorway. So you can use a guru as a doorway, but you have to shrink a little bit. If you do not know how to shrink yourself, you're too puffed up, then open doorway is no good. Actually, a closed doorway is better, at least you can bang your head and come back. Open doorway, you may go there and get stuck. Many of you, not many of you, some of you are feeling like this with Sadhguru. You came and you entered, it was all wonderful, but you got stuck there. You're not able to go forward, you're not able to go backwards. I'm not laughing at your plight, I'm laughing at your basic ignorance of life, that you don't understand that if you have to go through a door, you must be little smaller than the doorway. Only then you can go through, otherwise you cannot. This is simple understanding. I'm laughing at that foolishness, not at your plight of being stuck. You can shrink a little bit today and easily you can go forward. The next dimension of how you use a guru is, he's your destination. You have made it in such a way within yourself that he is your destination. You don't want to go anywhere beyond that. You're not even looking at him as a doorway. If he's a wall, it doesn't matter. You just want to go there. Well, if you become like this, then naturally certain things will unfold. But you may again and again go and knock your head on the wall. So, everything is fulfilling, at the same time, little pain in the forehead will happen because repeated knocking on the wall. Certain amount of, what to say, there is fulfillment, there is a little bit of… This may sound contradictory to you, but a whole lot of you are going through this. A certain sense of fulfillment is there in what you're doing and how you are, and you can easily look back and see how you were a few years ago and how you are today, but there's little frustration because the Guru doesn't yield, he's like a rock. Destination is always like that. So, those of you who are going through that, the next dimension of how to use a Guru, the tool of a Guru, how to use him as a tool is that he's become your dharma, he's become your breath, he's become your body, he's become your being. If this happens, now you are just ecstatic, you have no likes and dislikes of your own, you have no choices of your own, you have no preferences of your own, you don't have any values, morals, ideals, nothing. The Guru's energy and his presence has become your dharma, it's your very way of being. If you become like this, I will make sure you are ecstatic every moment of your life, for sure. Because ecstasy is not the goal. If you're ecstatic, it's just that you don't care where the hell you go. If you're really ecstatic, you don't mind going and living in hell. What's the problem? Only if you're truly ecstatic, will you take up whatever is needed in this world? Whatever. It doesn't matter, it's easy, it is difficult, it's possible, it's not possible, nothing matters because anyway you are wonderful. What you do is just according to the needs. Because there is a certain amount of time for this life, there is a certain amount of software that it needs to work out, there is a karmic bundle which needs to dissolve, we will live doing something. What should we do? When nothing matters, when I'm ecstatic, what to do? What is needed? If if rivers are becoming meager, we will talk rivers. If virus is all over the place, we will talk virus. Whatever is needed, we will simply do because anyway we have bursting energy and we are ecstatic, so what the hell? Whatever, doesn't matter, there's no choice of action. So I see that there are many people, fortunately now, you can put them into any kind of activity. Today they're managing something, tomorrow we'll say, you work in the kitchen, day after tomorrow clean the toilet, they're perfectly fine because nothing matters. This is important, that what you do, where you are, what you eat, how you are, doesn't matter to you simply because this is a test whether you're blissful or not. If you're blissful, if you're really blissed out, then what does it matter what you do and what you do not do? If you close your eyes also, it's wonderful. If you're super active also, it's wonderful. This freedom, once you have, then there is no worry about anything. You don't have to worry about your mukti. You don't have to worry what is the ultimate nature of life. You don't have to understand a damn thing. I'm telling you. You don't have to read a scripture, you don't have to even listen to me. You just have to sit there and be blissed out. Because once you are like this, then life carries you on. There is no need for you to carry life. I am seeing many of you, the moment you are given unimportant responsibility, then you start having that look on your face like you're the spinner of the planet. You start thinking you're the one who is spinning it and you're afraid it may go off fast or it may go slow. No, you are not the spinner of this planet. I'm just informing you, in case you have taken the title upon yourself. That's not your designation. You're a bloody small creature who has immense possibility. And possibilities will become realities only if you explore them. Otherwise, possibilities are just empty words. Possibilities are just empty nonsense if you do not explore the possibility. Whether it's a physical, worldly possibility or an inner dimension, both are same. If you do not explore the possibility, it is just empty talk. So unfortunately, in the world, on this day I would like to remind everyone that unfortunately in the world, spirituality has largely become reading spirituality, talking spirituality, listening spirituality, entertainment. Well, it might have brought some benefit to you in terms of physical well-being, in terms of health. Maybe at least it gave you a break, you know. There was a time when we conducted a 21-day meditation camps in a remote place near Mysore. That time the arrangements are not like how they are today, either here at III or an Isha Yoga center in India. Arrangements are very, very meager. We teach, we work, we cook, we do everything ourselves. So, you know, food is also… One day we keep the rice for cooking and the class time extends itself and it gets overcooked. Another day it's undercooked, another day it's like this. Every day, food was of different varieties. The only thing we knew how to cook was sambar and rice. We didn't know how to cook anything else. Now my sambar has become of epic proportions, okay, because of those years of practice. So the same sambar, we made it taste different every day. The same rice, we gave it in different consistencies every day, so that people don't feel bored eating the same stuff. Those were the days. So, because of this 21 days, everybody, it's a small group of people, maybe around 40-45 people, in a very remote place where you have to carry your water almost half a kilometer for everything that you have to use. There's only one tap outside, from there you have to carry water, everything. And then I saw one young woman, like in her late 20s, who was not interested in anything. She cannot even close her eyes and sit for 2 minutes. Then I one day called her and asked her, you know, you're here, why are you here first of all? This must be torture for you because you're not interested in anything that's happening here. And she told me crying, the only reason why she's here is, she wants to be away from her mother-in-law. I don't know how many of you have escaped in-laws, outlaws, whatever else you have in your life. So, she was bitterly crying and saying it is so torturous at home, she is willing to do any work here. So, we do not know why different people take to spiritual process, but you must understand, spiritual process is not an escape, it is a transcendence. Well, it'll liberate you and free you from many things, but not if you approach it as a means to escape. When I say your guru has become your dharma, that means he has become everything. The way you breathe, your breath is decided by him, your body The way your blood flows is decided by him. If you imbibe this energy, you will become like this, and then you're naturally ecstatic. Once you're ecstatic, whether you live for 5 minutes, 5 years or 100 years, doesn't matter, because it all feels the same way. And what activity you're doing, where you are, what you're eating, doesn't matter, simply because you're completely blissed out. This is important because this is what freedom means. You become free not because you think I'm free. You become free because your experience is independent of what's happening around you. Your experience is independent of the comfort or discomfort of your body. Your experience is completely independent of what thoughts and emotions are passing through in your mind. Once your experience of life becomes independent of all these things, this is a living mukti. Once you live like this, you don't worry about where are you going. It doesn't matter, because inevitably a life which has blossomed will naturally go to the right place, there is no other way. But Sadhguru, I would like to become like that, but I have some doubt. No, I'm not going to clear your doubt today, because you created the doubt, you get rid of it. This happened. At one time, not now, at one time, Shankaran Pillai was an out-and-out pessimist. So, he was visiting Tennessee and he went out with a friend, a local friend that he made, for bird hunting. So they went to certain places where there was little marshlands, and they sat down waiting. When the birds flew, the friend picked up his shotgun and boom. Every time a bird fell in the marsh, his dog, the bird hunting dog, just ran upon the water like Jesus. Ran upon the water, picked up the bird and brought it back, picked up the bird and brought it back, every time. The friend was looking at Shankaran Pillai for the effect. Shankaran Pillai was just looking bored and looking at this whole thing. Then after many forays like this, the dog actually walking, running on the water, picking up the bird and coming back. Then what to do with these Indian guys who are not impressed with miracles because they come from a country which has seen too many miracles and claims of miracles all over the place, that he's not impressed. Then his friend asked, "What do you think about my dog?" Shankaran Pillai said, "The damn thing cannot even swim." What do I do? So you clear your own doubts. If you have doubts, you clear it. It's been long enough, I've been around. If you have doubts, you work it.